Everyone, good morning or good afternoon or good evening based on your geolocations. So, welcome to Playwright with TypeScript end-to-end automation testing training. So, today will be the first sessions, and there will be total 12 session plan, and we will try to cover the first 5 session on the complete end-to-end TypeScript programming language. Then last 7 sessions we will try to learn Playwright with TypeScript, and at the end, we'll try to create our framework from the scratch. So this is the syllabus for the these Playwright with TypeScript end-to-end automation testing training sessions. So there will be total 12 classes, and mostly classes are on the weekend. So in the first 5 sessions, we'll try to cover the TypeScript, like what is TypeScript, what are the key features, what are the variables, what are the data types, and what are the different control statement, different loops, TypeScript methods. Then we'll try to understand the TypeScript tuples, intersection, union, TypeScript generics, TypeScript class object, complete TypeScript ops concept. And then we will start with the Playwright, where first we'll start with the software testing important concept. Then we'll go with the automation testing concept. Then we'll start with Playwright. Then we'll understand what is Playwright all about. We'll try to do different operations on the browsers or on the different locators. We'll try to identify the locators with the different locator strategy. We'll try to generate report. We will try to perform different operation on different type of element. We'll be understanding the execution for the Playwright, and we'll try to handle the different pages, different windows using Playwright. We'll try to handle the shadow DOM element. We'll try to understand about the assertion, different retrying logic. Then we'll try to generate couple of report like HTML report, LEO report. We'll try to capture the video and recording. Then we'll try to understand about the parameterization concept, where we'll try to read and write the data using CSV file, Excel file, JSON file. We'll learn about the debugging concept, and then finally we'll try to create a new Playwright project from the scratch using the page object model design pattern. So these are the things will be covered in the live sessions. So in case somebody is missing any sessions, you can refer the recordings later. So I'll be uploading in YouTube. Also, that can be placed later point of time in Google Drive so that you can download and go through. And for every sessions, whatever we are discussing, so that PDF will be shared along with the code. And once session is completed, we'll try to share a couple of interview questions, some sample framework, and as part of the bonus in this particular training sessions, I will try to share a couple of documents from the functional testing, HTML, CSS, DevOps as well, and we will try to share a couple of video for the DevOps area like Git, GitHub, Jenkins, along with the latest important topics like GNAI and prompt engineering. So that will be the agenda completely for this Playwright with TypeScript course. Now let's start with the day one, where we'll start with the with the TypeScript first. So so in today's sessions, I will try to cover what is TypeScript, what is TypeScript used for, the TypeScript important key features, the limitation of TypeScript, the JavaScript versus TypeScript, the top important key TypeScript testing framework support, then how you can start your journey in the TypeScript, like installation of the different relevant softwares. You can try to create your first TypeScript file in the VS Code, which is the IDE or the integrated data environment we'll be using. Then we can try to create our first sample test script. We will try to run it. Then we'll understand about the comment, like TypeScript different variables, syntax rules, and then we'll understand about the key important inbuilt data types available in TypeScript like string, number, boolean, undefined, null, bigint, and symbol. Slowly we'll proceed. So just try to understand every topics. In case you are having any doubt, like I'll be taking a pause, that time you can ask your questions. And apart from that, next day onward, right, somebody is having any questions, so we'll try to discuss them before starting the session or after completing the session. But you guys, everybody need to Follow it diligently either through the live classes or through the recorded classes. Any issues, you can revert to me so that I will try to solve it out. So it will take around total maximum 12 month time I have given, so that couple of days weekend I also need to take, right? So that we can cover it the next 2 month time. But you need to invest like 3 to 4 months time total, so that you can practice them well, you can understand them well, and you can get the full confidence. And the end, you can try to right learn it thoroughly in depth, and definitely you can grab new opportunity in your organization or your outside your organization as well. Okay, so let's start with what is TypeScript all about. So there are a lot of programming languages available in the world. Like it started with C, C++, Java, C Sharp, Python, JavaScript, and nowadays TypeScript very popular. So what is TypeScript? So TypeScript are primarily developed and maintained by the Microsoft. It's a very key important programming language which adds static typing to JavaScript to provide safer, more maintainable code. The JavaScript was came before, and TypeScript built on the top of the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, static typing was not available. That is the reason a lot of issue was encountered. And TypeScript, whatever JavaScript is having, all the feature TypeScript will be always following them. But apart from that, couple of more added features available in TypeScript. That is the reason TypeScript is very very popular in the market nowadays. Which one of the key important features called static typing. You can learn slowly what is static typing. So it is a super TypeScript is superset of JavaScript, meaning that any valid JavaScript code is also valid TypeScript code, but TypeScript allow for optional typing, important concept like classes, interface, and other features which JavaScript does not natively support. TypeScript adds feature like static typing, interface, generics, and modern ECMA script. ECMA is nothing but stand for European Computer Manufacturers Association. So it support TypeScript support modern ECMA script support. It helps developer to catch error early and build scalable application with better tooling such as auto completion, refactoring, and debugging. Auto completion is nothing but whenever you open any kind of TypeScript file, after that if you press Control plus spacebar, you will able to get all the different important key classes interface. Then you can call them whenever required. And refactoring is nothing but like when you can try to structure your code whatever you written. And debugging is nothing, it will help you any kind of issue is coming, it will help you to fix it through debugging, different debugging strategy. So typekey is supporting all these important aspects. That is the reason it's very popular in the market. So typescript is a compile language. So what does it mean by compile? So before that you need to understand two important terminology like compilation and runtime. So whenever you are writing the code in any of the file, right, maybe the TS file for TypeScript, JS file for JavaScript, or Java file for Java, like whenever you are writing the code and saving the code, automatically sometime some error message might be thrown. That is called compilation time error. And whenever couple of language does not give more error on the compilation time, sometime you are running the code, that time you will able to get it. That is called runtime error. But TypeScript is compiled language, meaning TypeScript code is first converted into JavaScript before the execution. And most of the time during compilation, you can get the error. So that is the way, like before running it, you can get the error, you can try to fix it. TypeScript allows specifying the types of the data being passed around within the code and has the ability to report errors when the types does not match. So that is the one of the key important benefit of the TypeScript. So suppose say you have declared some variable. In the JavaScript, you don't need to declare whether it's string or integer, sorry, a number like that. But TypeScript, you need to define the type of the data also during defining the variable. So you define something called number, which should accept any kind of number called normal number or decimal number. But in case you are trying to forcefully kind of provide some string, so it will throw the error. So TypeScript will report an error when passing a string into a function that expects a number. But where JavaScript will be a little bit tough because JavaScript does not have this kind of static typing. So TypeScript uses compile time checking, means that it will check if the specified types match before running the code, not while running the code. So whenever you are writing the code and saving the code, that time most of the error will be coming instead of just running the code, because most of the error type you will handle during the compilation time instead of run time. TypeScript flexibility extend to both client server and uh, uh, client side and server side. Client side is nothing whenever you are trying to control the browser, and DOM. DOM is nothing but the document object model. Whenever somebody used to handle like user event like clicking, like entering something in the input field, checking the checkbox or radio button, all this stuff will be done as a client side. And server side is nothing but whenever you are trying to interact with server, maybe it's the database or different API or retrieving or sending the data or uploading some file and generating some response. So both the things TypeScript handle, allowing developer to create complete and scalable application. And TypeScript, whenever you want to start your journey in the TypeScript world and relevant tools, definitely the VS Code or the Visual Studio Code, which is the inbuilt TypeScript support, can show error as user write the code in the editor. So one of the popular IDE or the integrated data environment is like VS Code. Lot of different IDEs available in the market, like Visual Studio, VS Code, like IntelliJ, Eclipse, everything. Mostly Java related part. Whenever somebody is developing, they can use Eclipse, IntelliJ. But whenever you are dealing with TypeScript or JavaScript, we can go with the VS Code. That is the better IDE for the TypeScript. What are the important TypeScript key features which make TypeScript more popular in the market nowadays? TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript that adds static typing to the language. So whenever if you want to learn any kind of new like automation testing tool, especially for the UI automation, like Playwright, Cypress, WebDriver IO, like TypeScript is very powerful solutions, and it can be easily integrated with this tool, especially for the web application UI testing. Playwright enables automated browser testing, allow user to simulate user interaction across the different browser. So Playwright will be discussing later, but Playwright is a powerful UI and API automation tools, especially for the web-based browser testing. And Playwright support a lot of browsers like the Chromium browsers, where you can go with the Chrome or Edge browsers. It supports the WebKit browser, which is nothing but the Safari browser, and Playwright also support the Firefox browser. And Playwright support different operating system like Mac, Windows, Linux, and Playwright support different programming language like JavaScript, TypeScript, Java, C Sharp, Python as well. So a couple of the key features of the Playwright is like the OPS concept. OPS is nothing but the object-oriented programming. So TypeScript support classes and the OPS. So TypeScript fully support modern OPS concept like classes, inheritance, different modifiers, constructor, making it easier to structure and organize larger application. So what is OPS? So apart from the class and object, there are primarily four key concepts in the OPS is inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. We'll discuss it later slowly so that you can get the full confidence on the all the key important area of the TypeScript. So static typing we already discussed. So TypeScript, one of the key feature is called static typing. This is the most fundamental feature. TypeScript allow developer to define types for variable, function parameter, and return value. This will enable the TypeScript compiler to catch type-related error during development, leading to more robust and maintainable code. The interfaces defines the shape of the object, ensuring that object conform to a specific structure. They are crucial for creating clear contract with the code base and improving code readability. So what does it mean by interface? We'll discussing later though. But still, suppose say in case you want to create an interface for employee details. So you can have couple of variables or method like employee name, employee address, employee ID, employee age, employee designation like that. So that whenever you are trying to add or import any new employee, you can have all the variable or the method and you can control it, right? So that is the way interface will help so that whenever you are adding the data or you are calling it, you cannot forget or skip any kind of important key properties. Modules is though types JavaScript also support modules, TypeScript also support more better way. So TypeScript support modules for organizing code into separate manageable files, promoting better code organization and reusability. So what does it mean by module? Suppose say we can have a one particular file called ts or js file, whatever, for JavaScript or TypeScript, and as both support modules, and we can try to write all the code in a single file. But that we should avoid. Why? Because later point of time, whenever any kind of problem is coming, debugging might be very challenging, and it is very tough for the right other user to maintain those codes. So that is the reason what we can do. We can try to create separate module where you can try to break down a little bit stuff, and then in the other main file we can try to call the module and we can try to use all the properties. So that is the module concept is there. So the last one, TypeScript key feature, is called enhanced tooling and IDE support. TypeScript rich type information empowers IDE and code editors with advanced feature like intelligent code completions, real-time error checking, refactoring the tools, and improve navigation, significantly boosting developer productivity. So this is the couple of important key features are available with TypeScript. Now, what are the limitations? Because in the real time world, we cannot say that okay, everything is good. Something might be some right which is does not support it. I could not say that bad, but maybe there is some limitation because of some other factor, or maybe like every programming language or every product or every company is trying to nullify their limitations regular basis. So something today some limitation is there, tomorrow maybe that can be better also. So compilation overhead, because whenever we are writing any kind of code in the TypeScript, first we need to convert it to JavaScript before the execution. So that is the extra overhead for the TypeScript program. No runtime safety. Type checks are performed only during compilation for the TypeScript, and all types information is erased in the output. This means runtime validation is still necessary for certain of area like API responses, user input, or database interaction, but which TypeScript does not have it. Most of the error TypeScript will be getting during the compilation time or saving the code, but runtime it is very hard to find out. Potential for over engineering. Developer might create overly intricate type systems that are more complex than value, making the code harder to read and maintain. Not suitable for small project. TypeScript primarily support for very scale up project or big project, but like whereas the small scale up project for rapid prototyping might be a little bit tough with TypeScript. The overhead of the setup, configuration, and type definition might be like outweigh and the benefit. Additionals Adding optional technology. TypeScript requires developer to have the knowledge of the language in order to work effectively on a project utilizing. However, TypeScript is just a superset of the JavaScript. In case somebody is very strong in JavaScript, they can learn it. But I could say that in case somebody is knowing any kind of programming language like Java or JavaScript, they can easily switch to the TypeScript with very limited time, or very minimal time. They can be strong in the TypeScript. Okay, but in case somebody is not knowing any kind of stuff, this definitely that will be challenging for them to learn the TypeScript in full confidence, with the full confidence. Compilation time, it takes longer time because first it is converting in JavaScript file, then it is executing. So that is the reason compared to JavaScript, it takes a little bit longer time to execute the code. Abstract class support. TypeScript does not support abstract class, which is the major of the key advantages of different programming language like Java, C Sharp, but TypeScript does not support the abstract classes. Compilation steps. First require the compilation right to TypeScript to JavaScript for the browser execution. That is the again compilation step overhead. Learning curve. So developer need to learn the all the important generics types and advanced concept. So that might be a little bit tough. Why? Because TypeScript is came later, so that more resources, more materials, more support might not be available, because JavaScript started long back 1995. So it's like demand, it's completely in the market for 30 years. So a lot of resources, lot of people will be having the good skilled people. You can find it, good resources, good training materials, good document you can find. But for TypeScript is just a little. I mean, last couple of years is dominating the market. So maybe this kind of information might not be adequately available. Extra build step. So slower feedback loop compared to the plain JavaScript. So this is the couple of limitations available. Now let's understand what is the JavaScript versus TypeScript. So in case I could say that the Playwright tool. So in case Playwright is having 100% in the market, but nowadays 50 more than 50% like a project or customer is using Playwright with TypeScript. After the JavaScript, then Java or Python or C Sharp. So TypeScript is very popular because of some of the important benefit we already discussed so far. So while JavaScript and TypeScript share many similarity, but there are a couple of differences. Like type system, JavaScript is dynamically typed, means you no need to give any kind of data type during defining the variable, meaning that the type of the variable is checked during runtime only, not the compilation time. Whereas TypeScript introduces the static typing, where the type of the variable is checked during compile time. So that is the reason you need to give the exact data type during compilation time. Execution, like interpreted directly by the browser runtime for the JavaScript, whereas require compilation to plan JavaScript before executing through the TypeScript. So TypeScript will be little bit slower. Class features, TypeScript support modern JavaScript features and add additional feature like enum and interfaces which are not available in JavaScript. We will understand what is enum and other stuff later slowly. Tooling, TypeScript provides superior tooling at any scale with auto completion we already discussed, right? That nothing but the um, control plus spacebar. If you type in that any file, ts file, it will be automatically give you the auto completion part. So which is mostly not available in the JavaScript. So TypeScript provides superior tooling at any scale with auto completion, type checking, and other feature that help developer manage large code base efficiently, which JavaScript properly does not support. Error checking, TypeScript compiler perform advanced error checking based on types. This catches common error like misspelling property names or incorrect data type, which can be overlooked in JavaScript until runtime, because most of the error you will be handling in the JavaScript during running the code, not during compilation. Modules, we discussed already that both JavaScript and TypeScript support modules, but TypeScript provide more stronger enforcement of type checks and object shapes across modules. Learning curves, because JavaScript is very popular in the market, because whenever you are developing any kind of website with the CSS HTML, right, we can use JavaScript, right? So it's came very long back. So JavaScript is easier for the beginner and small project due to the flexibility, whereas um, uh, JavaScript is slightly steeper due to the additional syntax and types system concept. So this is the couple of difference between the JavaScript versus TypeScript. Now let's understand what are the couple of testing standpoint, couple of important framework which the TypeScript support. The Mocha, Jest, Cypress, Playwright, WebDriver IO, VTest, and Jasmine. These are the important framework TypeScript support. So that whenever you are learning TypeScript, these are the different tools you can automatically be strong. Okay, as you are getting the confidence in the TypeScript. So after learning TypeScript, you can from the Playwright you can go to Cypress, you can go to the WebDriver IO easily. Now the couple of important right the important why TypeScript is really important for the automation testing. Let's understand it. Readability and understandability. Right? Explicit type makes the code easier to understand, especially in the large test suite when working in a team. Because most of the time, most of the project, you'll not be working alone, right? You'll be working in a team, 5 member, 10 member, 20 member team in the automation. So TypeScript will help to readability for the understandability as well. Type safety, TypeScript static typing, which are discussing for last couple of minutes, which help us to catch the common error like typos, incorrect data types, missing property during compilation, preventing them from becoming runtime bug in the test cases. So the type safety is very important role for the TypeScript, which will help to get the measure of the failure or the bug or the error during the compilation time already. Refactoring confidence, with type checking, user can refactor their test code with greater confidence, knowing that the compiler will flag any inconsistencies. Auto completion and intelligence we almost discussed. IDE with TypeScript support provide intelligent code completion suggestions, making it faster and easier to write playwright test script. So automatically, whenever you are pressing this tab, automatically some suggestion will be coming. You can easily use them and call them whenever required. Early error detections. Error are highlighted in the ID as user type, allowing for immediate corrections and reducing debugging time. So in case any error you are doing, immediately will be highlighted with the red color, and you can mouse it over, automatically the error will be displayed. So automatically you can get the idea and you can try to fix it. It will reduce the debugging time. Self documentation code. Type definition serve as a form of documentation, clearly indicating the expected input and the output of functions and methods. Structured code. TypeScript encoded more structured and organized code, which is crucial for managing and scaling complex test automation framework. Because framework is not like that way, whatever way we can do. In the framework, what we need to do, we need to use the best practices so that it can be more better way structured. So that any point of time, any new person is coming, they can easily understand it, right? Or maybe like for walkthrough, we can the other person whoever reviewing the code or the framework, they can easily understand it. And maintaining and debugging also will be very easy whenever we are using the structured approach. Easier collaborations. Clear type definition facilitate collaborations among different team members, ensuring everybody understand the expected data structure and the function signature. So this is the couple of important behavior or features TypeScript is having, which are very very pivotal for the automation testing. Now let's understand about the VS Code. So already discussed that the main important IDE for the TypeScript is the Visual Studio Code or the VS Code. So what VS Code is having, that is the reason we are using VS Code as an IDE for the JavaScript or the TypeScript programming language. So VS Code is nothing but the Visual Studio Code, commonly referred as VS Code, is an integrated data environment or IDE developed by again Microsoft, and it handles all the operating systems like Windows, Linux, Macs, and different web browsers. VS Code is a robust code editor that supports different programming language like has C++, PHP, Python, HTML, CSS, along with JavaScript and TypeScript. Visual Studio or the VS Code for short is free, open source. So it is designed for programming and developer work, supporting wide range of language and framework, like we already discussed Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, etc. Because nowadays most of the company they do not go with the right license version. So in case something is openly visible, something is really right free, we can go ahead that. But in case you want to go with that more better version, so you need to take the license. But whatever we need to start your journey to work, we can go with the open or the free versions also, open source free version. VS Code comes with Git integration that allows user to commit, pull, and push their code changes to remote Git repository. Because at the end of the day, whenever you are creating a good framework, right, you need to maintain it somewhere, some repository. So Git or like SVN, other stuff nowadays available. So Git is very very commonly supported with the as a integration in the VS Code. So you can easily integrate it. You can try to commit, push, or pull your code into the remote repository. And one of the most important notable feature is its ability to customize through different extension. User can add extension for specific programming language, theme, debugging tool, and many more. The tools provide built-in debugging compatibilities for various languages, allowing developer to detect and fix errors efficiently. VS Code includes a built-in terminal that allow developer to execute command directly from the editor. It's simplifying the workflow. So now whenever you will be will be opening the VS Code, you can see there's a terminals available. With the terminal, we can have a lot of commands and we can run our code very easily. Now let's see, start with our actual implementation part. So what we require to start our journey in the Playwright or the TypeScript, we require three things. One is the VS Code, that's the IDE. Then we require Node.js and npm. So this is the official site of the VS Code you can go. So if I open it, it will look like this is the site I opened, right? The code Visual Studio download, and you automatically you could see there Windows 10 or 11. This is the way we can have the Ubuntu or the Linux, and here we can have the Mac. So in case you are having Windows system, you can click here. If you are using Mac system, you can click here, and the versions also there. And if you click here, it will try to download the file simply. After you download, you can get it in the download folder. So let's check my download folder. I have recently downloaded. You can just simply try to click on the downloaded folder, and easy setup is also very easy. You can accept it. You can try to click on next. Here you can this checkbox is fine, no need to check additionally. You can try to create a desktop icon. If you want to do it in the desktop, you can click on next, and you can try to simply click on install. Automatically it will be installed. Once it is installed, then you can have some right icon in the desktop. Otherwise you can go here in your start button. You can type something called VS Code, and you can try to open it like Visual Studio Code. And definitely initial time there will be no project, so it will be look like blank. In case you are working with some project, it will be, you can get all the thing. Okay. So now second thing is that we will require the node.js and npm. So what is node.js? Node.js is a JavaScript or TypeScript runtime used for running JavaScript code outside of a web browser, whereas npm is nothing but the node package manager It's a package manager used to manage and install different libraries or packages from the Node.js application. So you can go to the official site, okay, this nodejs.org.in, and you can get the LTS version. LTS nothing but the long term support. So better to go with the LTS version instead of using any kind of alpha beta version, because this is the stable version. So in case you are using Java, so you already know the JDK you need to install, JDK, JRE, all this stuff. So which is nothing but the like your environment, which will be giving you the like the environment properly to run the code. So here also Node.js and npm will be giving you the environment to run the code, primarily Node.js, and npm is nothing but managing all the different libraries for the installation. Now you can go to the official site of this Node.js, this one, and after that simply you can click here, get Node.js, okay, and hopefully immediately it will started installing. Click here, run it once more time, click here. Yeah, it will be just like that. Now you could see here, you can select the versions, whatever version you want to do. Better to go with, instead of current version, go with the LTS version, long term support version, either 20 to 24, whatever. You can select your system, window or Mac or Linux or other. After that you can try to install the Docker and you can select npm. So that is the reason during Node.js npm is getting installed automatically. Now you can try to click here, window installer.msi file. Once you did, it will be just downloaded. So here also downloaded. You simply just need to open it and need to click on I already tried to do it, that is the reason it's getting problem, and just click simply next, 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 and you can try to just click on finish. Okay, let's remove it and let's try to download it once more and see what are the step is coming. So it might takes couple of seconds to download it. A very very small file, only 30 MB file. Now you can open it again, and then you can just okay, so all the step is already there, that is the reason it is not showing me. Otherwise, yeah, you could see now opening. Click on the next. Here you can accept it, the all the license term. Next, and you can change your directory if you required. Otherwise you can go in the C program files, Node.js, click on next. Then you can select as Node.js runtime, that will be fine. Click on next. Then no need to check the checkbox, that is fine, default setting, and at last you can click on the node install. So automatically your Node.js and npm will be installed together, okay, because this is the setup right here. Node.js is coming, npm is coming as part of Node.js. So you can go for any versions 22, 24, but go with the LTS version, which is the long term support version, and based on your system, Windows or Mac. After that, once it's installed, what you can do, you can press Windows R from your like keyboard, and then here you can type cmd command prompt, it will open. Now you can try to check whatever node.js or npm install or not. So you can give something called node space hyphen v. It will be giving the version. So for me it is 22 install. You can install 24 also. Then I can go with npm space hyphen v. So you could see that version is installed, like 11. But now say npm newer version came, so what you can do, you can run this command in the terminal, npm install hyphen g npm at the latest. In case the latest is still available, you can automatically npm will be update on the top of that. So that is the way you can do it. Okay, so that is the setup. Now I will take a pause. In case anybody is having any doubt, I can try to clarify it before proceeding to the next next area. Are you good? Anyone is having any doubt? Okay, now we'll proceed with the coding part slowly. So our installation is done. Now we'll try to set up the TypeScript. So how we'll do it? So first we'll try to create a folder. So you can create a folder, you can create a subfolder. So this is the folder I've created today. And here I will try to create a new folder, another folder called new, right click, new folder. Let's try to do something called TypeScript training February 26 batch. This folder I've created. Now, once you open the, let's close it. Once you open the VS Code, let's go to the VS Code. Yeah, VS Code. What you need to do first? You need to open the folder. Open the folder, and then you can go to your wherever your folder is kept. Right, this is the folder, and now I'll select this folder because this folder I want to create the project. Select it. After that, this folder will be auto open, and this is the Gemini chat thing is coming. You can close it. Okay. Now what you need to do? You can close the welcome. Now you can try to go to the terminal. So how can you go it? You can go click on view and click on terminal. Otherwise, I think a lot of options also available. You can open the terminal also here. Terminal, new terminal. So you can go and view terminal. So terminal will be open in the right this side. Okay. Now here what we need to do? We need to run couple of command. Okay. So first we need to open the editors. Then we need to create the folder. We need to select the folder, and we need to run this to install the. We need to open the terminal. We need to just run this thing, right? So after opening the terminal by navigating to view terminal in the project root directory, we need to install TypeScript globally via npm or node package manager by running the code npm space install. Like let's we'll try to run. Yeah, npm space install space hyphen g space TypeScript. Yeah, so this is the code. If you're running, what will happen? It will try to just install the TypeScript into your particular project. So this is the first thing you need to do after opening the thing. After that, you need to create a tsconfig.json file, which is very very really important to control your like your programming. So what is this? Let's run the code first. After that, we'll understand what is this actually that config file. So we need to run npx space tsc space hyphen hyphen init, this command. So I already used those commands, so automatically it will be coming hopefully. Yeah. So you need to, in case you already use this command, you can use your up and down arrow key from your keyboard. Automatically all this command will be coming. npx space tsc space hyphen hyphen init. So that automatically this file will be created. You could see that created a new file tsconfig.json. So this is the file created. So you no need to understand right now all this stuff. So what is this file? tsconfig.json file is nothing but a file of JSON format, which allows user to point the root level files and different compiler option to set up, which is really required to compile a TypeScript based project. The existence of this file in a project specifies that the given directory is the TypeScript project folder root. So what are the important different things should consist in the file? Compiler options, compiler on save, files, include and exclude. So this is the thing it will be containing, but we'll discuss all this stuff later in detail so that you can get the more clarity. But this is the thing you need to create it so that your it will organize how your folder and other stuff is there. Primarily compiler options, file, include, exclude, compiler and save, all this stuff will be there. Okay, this is done. Second step. Now what we'll do? We'll try to create a particular file now here. Okay, select this particular project. Okay, now you could see there are a lot of options is coming: refreshing the project, collapsing the folder, creating a new folder, or creating a new file. So we'll directly try to create a new file. So I can give something called day1.ts. Give it, because this TypeScript file we are creating now. So you need to give it that day1.ts. Then how we what you need to do after that? Okay, during that time something whenever you are running the command, right, you might feel some issue. Okay, that some problem is coming, that file cannot be loaded whenever this kind of two command you are running, right, from the terminal. Okay, like npx tsc init or right npm install hyphen g hyphen TypeScript. So I have tried to give the solution whenever this kind of problem is coming. Maybe initial time your PowerShell does not set up properly, so you need to just open it. So what you need to do, you can go to the command and you can try to write this command: set hyphen execution policy remote sign hyphen scope to current user. That's all. This part you can just run it. Automatically your right policy will be set up, and then other thing will be work. So you need to open the PowerShell as administrator. You need to just run this code, and whenever it will be giving some option, you can Y, so that to update the policy. So automatically this problem will be solved. Okay, once it is done, what we can do, we can create the TypeScript file, and here we can try to write the code. So to print something in the console, just like JavaScript will be using SYSO system.out.println, Here I'll be using console.log, which is nothing, you will be used to print something in the console. So I can give something called welcome to TypeScript programming language world. And you can use semicolon or not, because semicolon is optional here in the TypeScript. You can use it or not, that will work still. Without semicolon it will work. Now next thing is that how we can run the code, right? So I already mentioned, like initially TypeScript will try to convert the code into JavaScript. After that it will be running. So what are the stuff you need to do it? So first we need to run this command npx space TypeScript file name dot ts. So see what happening. Npx, sorry, not here, here npx space tsc space the file name day1.ts. So if you're running, you could see what's happening. It will convert the TypeScript file to JavaScript file. Okay, file day. Okay, I need to give day one. Sorry, I have given day, so that is fine. Day1.ts, because day is not able to identify any file. You could see immediately day1 dot JavaScript file is getting created immediately here. Okay, though initially you don't created the JavaScript file, now you can see all the code will be also there here, right? So that is the way it will be created. Now what we can do, we can try to run it using the node, this JavaScript file, node space file name dot js file, node space here, node space the file name day1 dot javascript js. So that is the way you can try to run it. You could see now output is coming, welcome to TypeScript programming world, language world. Now once it's compiled, then we can try to run with the TypeScript syntax as well. So what we need to do, we need to use node space the TypeScript file name directly. So node space day1.ts. Now it will work. Okay, this is the second approach. Third approach, how can you do it? Now you can go here, click on the run, and you can run without debugging. So also it will be running. Here you need to select the environment, Node.js. Now you could see it will be running and output will be printed in the debug console. Welcome to TypeScript programming language world. So this is the way you can first set up your project for the TypeScript. You can have all the configuration set up. You can run all the important command to install all the important necessary details. You can create your first TypeScript file. You can try to convert it to the JS file. You can try to run then with TypeScript file or JS file, or using the run command using as a run without debugging. This is the three way you can try to run your code for now. Later we'll be seeing other approach, especially whenever we'll be integrating with the DevOps tool, right? We can try to run it from there also. So I will try to take a pause again. Any questions, anybody? We'll try to discuss it before going to the next topic. All good, everyone? Okay, cool. Very good. Now we'll try to go in more deeper into the TypeScript. So what we'll be doing, understanding first comment, because that comment is very very important for any of the programming language. Comment will help us to give more information on the code, right? So TypeScript also provides TypeScript comment also provide a way to explain the code as a header or a functions, or sometimes we're having a lot of code, we want to just disable a couple of code from the execution, we can also do it instead of removing. So this comment used to add information about the code, warning or suggestions, so that end user can easily interpret the code. Comment are ignored by the interpreter during compilation or running. How many different type of comments supported by the TypeScript? So that is the very very important questions, right? So what are the things supported? Is TypeScript support primarily three type of comment. Okay, the single line comment, multi-line comment, and structured documentation comment. So single line comment is mostly similar to the other programming language like Java or other. Like we can give slash slash. Suppose say here I have a couple of line of comment, right? I can run do it without semicolon. Also it will work. TypeScript. Okay. Now if you try to run it from the terminal, you could see same way you can try to run it. save the code first and just run the same command. Okay, you could see a lot of line is coming. Now say I want to just disable this line, so you can give slash slash. And if you want to just disable this three line, you can start with that and give that, and here you can end with star slash. So at only one line will be executed. Now if you run your code, so all the line are there in the program in the your file, but it is visible from the execution. Only one line is being executed. So that is the way you can use the singular multi-line command to disable some line from the execution. The last two important one is called, apart from the singular multi-line, called structured document command. So whenever you are trying to create a method or other useful component, you can try to give more information to the user. What are those all about? Right? These are called documentation. So user structure is nothing slash start, then your code, multiple line of code, and you can give end with star slash. Is a block for documentation generated like type doc to provide rich information such as parameter description and return value. So what in case you want to create a parameter method, right? You will be learning later. So you can give this kind of comment. Okay, what is this all about? Right? Calculate the square wave number. What the parameter value you can pass, the number to square. What will return? This kind of stuff you can keep it so that any other layman persons who are new to the programming, who are new to your project, who are new to your framework, they can easily understand what all about. Then you can try to write your like code for the function, constructor, or any other stuff, array and other stuff. So this is the three type of command we can use it in the TypeScript. Now we'll understand about the very important stuff called variable and the syntax rule. So in any of the programming language, variable is very important, right? Otherwise, without the variable, we cannot proceed further. Okay. So in Java, primarily there are three type of variable like local, global, sorry, local class variable or an instance variable, or okay, or the local variable and then your static variable or class instance variable. So here also TypeScript also there are three important variable concept available called var, let, and constant. So first let understand what is variables. So variable is nothing but the identifier or a name which will store the value or data. The actual value of a variable can be changed at any time. TypeScript variable uses standard JavaScript naming rules and are often declared using let or constant keyword with an optional type annotations. Okay, the explicit type colon the type is a core TypeScript syntax features that provide static type checking. So there are primarily three variables: var, let, and constant. So var actually is old thing. It was started from in the JavaScript 1995 to 2015, but after 2015 onward, we try to avoid that var. Instead of that, we can use the let. Okay, and whereas constant is used primarily whenever we are having something constant in nature, right? Just like the value of the pi, which is 3.14, or we're having some constant URL we want to open with Google or other stuff, right? We can make as a constant so that we are not going to change this value in the future. Okay, but let will help you to change this value or define the value any number of time. Okay, so for general syntax for declaring the variable is let or the constant or var, variable name colon data type equal to the value. So variable name must adhere to the couple of syntax rules, okay, which are primarily getting inherited from the JavaScript. Except that data type, all the variable rule are very common or same between the JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, so variable name should start with the letter like either uppercase or lowercase, and we can have use underscore or dollar sign, and numerics also, but after the letter only, but cannot start with the digit or numeric first. So TypeScript variable are case sensitive. In case you are creating something variable called called var1 with lowercase, and you are using something called uppercase var1, right, or capital case var1, it is not same, it is different. It is different. Okay. Then you can have some reserve keyword in JavaScript or TypeScript like if, for, switch, else, all this, but you cannot use them as a variable, right, for any of the variable constant or let like that. Okay, so you can with underscore, or you can use some additional number like that with the variable. So the like the any kind of thing already defined as a functions or object, you cannot use the same name as a variable, so it should be unique. Multiple variables can be declared in a single line separated by comma. Variable cannot contain any kind of space or can be special character, and most recommended thing is called using the camel case for the variable. Now let's see the implementation of this variable or whatever all the rules can be done. Okay, so what is the way you can do for the variable? So let's comment it out also. For JavaScript, how we can create the variable? Say let, say any kind of variable I can give something called name. Okay, equal to, I can give my name called Haradan. Okay, so after that, what I can do in the JavaScript, then I can try to print it out console dot log, and I can try to print out this variable, right? That is fine. We can end with colon or not, semicolon, that is perfectly fine, it will work. Now you can try to run the code. Okay, it's coming as Haradan. Okay, so there is no defining the derive. So based on the value you are giving during runtime, it is considering. But sometime it might be creating problem in case you are having more other stuff. But TypeScript will allow you to define the variable type. So here you can give something colon and you can give something called string. Okay, now it is considered as a string. So this kind of problem can be avoided. You could see Haradan is coming down. Now if you want to enter in this string is a normal number, right? Immediately it will be error. You could see immediately error is coming. That you cannot do it, right? The type number is not assignable to the type string. So this is the error is coming. So that is the stuff is can be possible with the type part of the TypeScript which is not there in the JavaScript. So this is the way I can define the variables and I can proceed with the further testing. Okay, with the let keyword. You can use the var also. Okay, so let's try to use the var, and variable you cannot use as a duplicate. Is it possible to use as a duplicate? It will throw the error. Forget about this value and other part, right? As and when you are defining any variable with same name, it will throw you the error. Now you can give some name one. That is fine, right? And then I can try to give some value called Rahul. That is fine, cool. Then I can try to print out this value, name one. It will be fine. Okay. So this will be cool. Now if you just run it, it will be fine. Now is are case sensitive. So instead of name, what I can do, I can use something called name, right? That will be still work because those are not same because this case sensitivity is already there in the TypeScript. So it will be still fine. Now what we can do, we can try to define multiples variable also in the same line. And now after defining the variable, I can change the value n number of time. It is possible. So what I can do, I can again give some new value, say raw js, and after that I can try to change the value. So that time no defining the late and other stuff. So called Bijoy, like that. Now what it will take? It will take the latest value. So that is the way it is possible. That is the reason constant variable time came into the picture. So as and when you are making something constant, you will not able to allow you to change it. Immediately error is coming in the next line. Why? Because you already declared as a constant variable. So you cannot change the value. So this kind of thing you cannot do it. We cannot reassign the value again once you define something as constant. So that is the way you can try to avoid this kind of code problem. You could see. So constant auto will not allow you to change the value. Okay, there are a couple of difference between the constant and the let. So whenever you are defining some variable called constant, you need to give the value also, assign the value also in the same line. Otherwise, it will throw the error, immediately throwing the error. You could see because constant you need to define the value in the same line, not in the next line. Whereas for any kind of variable, something defining called let, okay, called age, okay, then give colon number, okay, I'm just defining it, right? And the next line I can define the value. Okay, what is the variable name called age equal to called 30? That is fine, perfectly fine. Whenever you are defining something called let variable, and I can print it out. But whenever I am making the constant, that same line I need to define the value only. That is the primary other couple of difference between the constant and the let variable. Okay, sorry, console.log. Yeah, it's coming, right? Because that time code was not saved. So this is the way I can try to do it. Now, next time, suppose in case I want to define couple of variable, so let a, comma b, comma c, I can do it. I can define all as a number. That is perfectly fine. Now I can try to assign the value a equal to say 100, b equal to call 200, c equal to call 300. Then I can try to use the console.log and try to just do this operation of this particular part. What I can do, a plus b plus c. That will be fine. So it will be giving me the sum of the number. Save the code. Yeah, you could see 600 is coming. So that is the way I can try to define couple of numbers. But say sometimes during defining also I can add the value also one or two numbers. Okay, and then I can have defined a single line multiple variable also different type. I can also do it like that. Say let name colon, okay, string, okay, equal to my name. Okay, then you can give, okay, name already there, so called person name, p name. Okay, I can give new variable. Then I can give comma called late. I think late is not required. Okay, called age. Okay, ph, because age is already there. Person age colon called number. Okay, equal to say 40. Then colon. Okay, called address or maybe the country colon. Say again string equal to say India, like that, right? That is perfectly fine. Now let's see, use them. Okay, console.log, try to print it. Okay, like whatever way we can do it, or line by line or other line, we can do it. Uh, Here you can use the comma separated, comma ph, comma what is the last one, country. You could see this is the way it's coming, paste separated with comma. Now any kind of reserve word we cannot use it. Let say if, comma say string. Is it able to do it? No, right? You could see immediately error is coming. Why? Because if is the reserve keyword. Already we cannot use it. But if we use if one, it will be allowing. Or if underscore one, it will be allowing. This is the reserve word like if, let, var, constant, right? Switch, all this stuff you cannot use as a reserve keyword. So you cannot use it also. So those are the kind of stuff you cannot do it also for the part. And variable name should start with the like one, right? In case you are doing something variable name called one var, it will throwing the error because its name should not start with the number or digit. It should start with that like a or to z with uppercase or lowercase only. Okay, so these are the different stuff. So nowadays mostly we do not use the char. Why? Sorry, that var character, because say define something called var a, okay, colon say string and give some number. Okay, instead of the var called fruit, give some fruit, a string called mango. Okay, now what we can do, we can try to define again same var. Okay, here we can try to define something called banana. Now if you call, which var it will take? So that is the confusion. So this is the problem with the var keyword, that it will allow you to create same variables again with the var, but if you use let, it will not allow you. So that is the way these kind of challenges can be solved using let. Okay, so that's better to avoid any kind of using in the var until you are using very backdated browsers or other stuff. We should go ahead with the let only and let in constant. Now what is constant? Okay, we already discussed all this part here. Okay, always declare variables in TypeScript. Always use constant if the value should not get changed. Always use constant for constant and variable where the reference should not change, like array or object declaration, configuration setting, important modules, all this stuff. Only use let if user cannot use the constant. Only use var if user must support old browser. Not recommended to use in modern TypeScript. It has function level scope which behaves differently from the block scoping of let and constant. User can declare a TypeScript variable with the var or the let keyword. Okay, after declaration the variable has no value. Technically it is called undefined. I will be discussing in later in this today only. To assign the value, you can just give the value after next line also or same line also. User can declare many variable in a single statement as well. Variable value can be changed any number of time except for constant variable. Start the statement with let and separate the variable by the comma. Now for the constant I already discussed. The constant keyword in TypeScript is used to create the variable that cannot be redeclared or changed after the first assignment. This keeps the variable value fixed. The best practices is to use constant by default for all variable declaration and switch to let only when reassignment is explicitly needed. Ideal for defining constant values like mathematical constant, configuration setting, predefined limit, all this part, like that URL, the pi value already discussed, right? Username, password, whatever be constant for your operation. Those card you can do it in the constant. Constant variable cannot be reassigned. Generally, constant variable will be capitalized, right? This is the way. Constant variable name, like URL with capital letter. Okay, constant variable should be assigned the value same line. You cannot do in the next line. Okay, so declare something called URL variable. With the that is though I can easily understand. That is the constant. Okay, say like HTTPS okay www.google.com. Now I can try to simply print it out. So this is the constant that nobody going to change it with the capital letter. So this is the way, and same line you need to define it. You cannot do in the next line. Assignment and with the value also will be same line. Okay, you could see it's coming. So this is the way constant and your let and var variable will be worked. Now I have tried to give the difference between the var and lat variable also, let variable also, because sometimes people used to ask what is the primary difference between the two variable. So variable var is a function scope. When user declared a variable using var inside a function, the variable is accessible anywhere within that function, even if it is redeclared inside a block, example loop or a statement. If the var declared outside of a function, it becomes globally scoped. Whereas let variable is a block scope, meaning it's only accessible within the block in which it is declared. In case you are declared inside a conditional block, loop, or function, it will be only applicable there, not the globally. This makes let more predictable and safer to use than var, especially when working with loops or condition. The next important difference is like user can redeclare a variable using var within the same scope without getting an error. That's the problem actually. That's not the benefit. This can lead an unintentional bugs and overwriting value, whereas user cannot redeclare variables with let in the same block scope. This helps prevent accidental overwriting of the variable. So this is about these three important type of variable in TypeScript. I will take again a pause for a couple of seconds. In case anybody is having any doubt, we can proceed with the question answer. Otherwise, we'll proceed to the next topic. Are you good? Any doubt? Okay, cool. So now the last important topics for today will be covering the data type, where we'll be discussing about the primary 7 key important primitive data type. So we already see right in the code that whenever you are defining some variable, you need to give the type data type, either number or string, all this stuff. Now let's understand what is those all these data type. Okay, nothing there is coming as a blank, no output. So data type is nothing where we can have the type of the data. So variable is nothing, it will holding the data. Data type is nothing, it will show you the type of the data. So TypeScript has built-in primitive and special data type as well as user-defined complex type, which adds type safety to JavaScript. So built-in primary 7 category of the built-in called string, number, boolean, undefined, and null. Right. So let's talk about the string data type. Okay, what is string? String is nothing but is a alphabetical character, right? Any kind of numeric value or maybe the special character, all this part can be like treated as a string. We can have with a single quote or double quote or backstick sign. That will be covered in the next session. How what is the way we can have three different way we can have the string. In Java only we can have double quote, but if here we can use JavaScript or TypeScript, we can have three different way. Either you can use double quote or single quote or backstick, but multiple combinations is not possible. Like one single quote starting and one ending in a double quote, that is not possible. That will throw you the error. And number is nothing, any integer or the floating point number. In Java, there are two categories called like doubles or float for decimal value, and for like integer type, it was non decimal value called integer, short, long, all this stuff. But here, number will work for all the thing, whether it's a floating point or integer or negative or positive or zero, number will work along with infinity or nan. Then Boolean is nothing but the true or false. Undefined means nothing, but you already defined a variable, but you did not assign a value, that will be treated as undefined. But null is similar to undefined, but where you are specifying mentioning this null means it is a null object. And Bigint, whenever you want to have more large integers that are very too large for the numbers type, you can use Bigint. And symbol data type, where like you want to create some instance which are very unique and immutable, where you can use the symbol. So this is the seven important primitive data types available. We're discussing all these seven data type today, and then see about whether other data type available called special data type or user defined. Those will be discussed tomorrow, but high level part I'll discuss today. Special data type, there are primarily four: any, unknown, void, never. Any means it might contain string, number, anything. Like if you are giving anything, it will take any value. A flexible type that disables type checking, allowing variable to hold any type of that data or value. Unknown, similar to any, but requires more checks. Value of this type must be type checked or asserted before use. Void is nothing, used for functions that do not return any kind of value. In Java also void is there. Like whenever you do not want to return anything, it will be using void. Never represent a value that never occurs, such as function that always throw an error or never returns. You'll be understanding everything in depth, all the implementation tomorrow. And then user defined types will be understanding later sessions, like array, tuple, enum, object, functions, interface, and type alias. Array means like sequence of element you want to store in the that particular bracket folder, right, type folder, right. An array in the TypeScript is used to store collection of elements of a specific type. Definitely it should be specific type, either string or number or boolean. It cannot have multiple types at the same time. User can define an array using that particular stuff, right, array type and the syntax of the type syntax. Tuples. So tuples is little bit different than array, where the size is fixed, but tuples can have hold any kind of data type, right? So expresses an array with fixed number of element whose type are known but need not to be same. Tuples can have string, number, single thing. Okay. Then enum, a special data type that defines a set of name constant. In case you want to have a set of thing called constant, suppose a color part, right? I know the seven color is there, like Vivzio, right? Violet, indigo, all these seven color. So this kind of stuff which will never change. So those kind of stuff I can keep inside the enum. Suppose there are country. So all the country, like maybe 150 plus countries there, you can store in the enum. Okay, that is the way. In particular country, there are a couple of state is available. Those kind of stuff I can make it the enum. So that is similar type, but it is a fixed constant value. Object and the class is nothing but like whenever you'll be creating a class, data will be showing. We can try to create an object or instance so that we can try to access it. So the object represent an non-primitive types such as instance of the class, arrays, or function. An object in the TypeScript is a collection of key value pair where the keys are strings or symbols and the values nothing but the any type. User define the shape of an object using the in interface or a type alias. Okay, interface was you already discussed, a way to define the shape of object or class. Now functions is nothing but the reusable component or the method, right? Say uh, I want to have a animal class where a lot of animal can be there as an object, right? Called monkey, donkey, elephant, tiger, giraffe, all this stuff. So every element will be having some component properties. So you can try to define them as a method, right? Called drinking, eating, all this stuff. So that in case something I need to change, I can try to change in one place in the method so that whenever any kind of object will be calling, that will be automatically updated. The last one is called type alias. A type alias created a new name for a type. This can be especially useful for simplifying complex type definition or when user want to give a type a meaningful name. So those part will be discussed later so that you can get the more clarity. Now let's understand about the 7 primitive data type. What is that? String, number, boolean, undefined, null, bigint, and symbol. So let's go one by one. Let's start with the string. So string is nothing but the type in TypeScript, which is very fundamental data type or most commonly used called string and in number. Right? String are very important to hold data that can be represented in the text form mostly. Like JavaScript, TypeScript also support both string primitive and string object. A string in TypeScript is a series of characters that are supported by quotes, and quotes can be single quote, double quote, or the tilde or backtick sign also, right? And in the code, we can have the textual data in the alphanumeric format. So let's see. Yeah. Now let's try to define. We already defined a string here. Okay, this part, right? We already defined. Now let's try to define some basic string called let string s1. Okay, called string. Okay, called equal to within the double quote I can define called TypeScript. Like no need to give the colon, or you can end with colon also. Now you can try to define one more string which is little bit different. S2 different, it should be unique, and I can give instead of that single quote. So that will also allow, right? Single quote, but not different combination. One single quote, one double quote will not allow. Either we can give single quote or double quote. That is fine, but not like different combination. Okay. Then we can use other called tilde sign. Okay. Let's try to define one more string here. Let have new string s3. What we can do here, we can try to embed something. The tilde sign is nothing but, right, this sign. Okay, sorry, my bad. This sign. Yeah. This is the sign called backstick sign. Here we can give something embed. Okay, that is the thing I want to add it, and then we can use dollar. Okay, that is the concept using tilde sign. Then these brackets, and I can give the variable name like that. It should work. Yeah. Okay, embed. Hmm, Thing. This one we need to take. This is the tail. No, this should be there. Why it is not taking? Okay, you need to give the equal sign. Yeah, I think should work now. Okay, now let's try to print out the value. See what's happening here. S1, S2, S3. Okay, embed dollar sign is there. The variable is fine, should be within the that code. Okay, let's run it, see what's the error is coming. Yeah, I think error is coming. So sign will be tilde sign. Yeah, I think it's fine, right? Both the way backstick will be there. Okay, now it should work. Okay, still reference. Okay, where we have given S1, S2. Okay, here you have given A1. A1 is not able to understand, right? So that is the you can get the error, right? Reference A1 is not defined. So A1 is there is nothing we define, S1 we have defined, right? Okay, still error. Okay, we have A1 is not defined. Why is A1? Where is the A1? Let's save it first, the code. Yeah, now it should work. Yeah, you could see now it's work. TypeScript is coming within the double quote. Then here also you can change it to JavaScript if required. so that will be better to understand. Let's run it again, saving it properly, save it, then run it. First one is coming TypeScript with the double quote, second one is single quote, and third one is like we are trying to embed this other variable. You can change it, right? Welcome to, okay, like that. Okay, learn. I can give it something called learn any value, so that it will be coming as learn TypeScript. You could see. So this is the way I can embed any variable with the other string variable. Okay. So this is the way we can start with string, but lot of string operations there will be covering tomorrow in the next session. So there are a lot of string operations like uppercase, lowercase, right? The length of the string, right? Replace, finding, all this stuff will be covering in the next sessions. You can get to know the all different kind of string operations. And the next thing, whenever you are defining any stuff, right? So what you need to do, you need to just type to check whether it's a what is the data type. So what you can do here, you can use type of operator, type of, okay, that is the you can take whether all the variable what is the type, so it will giving you the exact type. You could see it is giving you types called string. So that is the s1 s2 s3 all the will be giving you string, because you already defined string here na. That is the way it will be defining a string data type, okay, based on the thing you are giving. But in case some of the operator, let's see, you did not define let, okay, s2, like that simple thing you have defined, sorry, let s4, okay, you did not define anything, whether string and value also. So if you want to check it, what will happen? It should give mostly any, because it can be anything, right? Undefined. Okay, sorry, that's fine. Undefined, because it is coming as undefined. Why? You define but no value assigned, no data type assigned. So how it will understand? But here, if you give something called number, it will be still number coming, not undefined. Okay, type of S4 Y error. Okay, I think whenever you are defining, might need to give the number. Okay, undefined is coming, right? Okay, still. But now if you giving some number like 40, sorry, my bad. Okay, let s4 colon is fine, equal to value now. Now you could see it will be coming as number. Yeah, right, number is coming. So how can we define the number? Like the number, and we can give any value. It can be also decimal value. If you giving, it will be still as a number. Negative, positive, zero, decimal value, it will be still considered as a number only. So here there is no this concept called float, double, or like integer, short, all this stuff. Anything with decimal value, with the decimal will be considered as a number. So this is the stuff for number data type. So TypeScript, like JavaScript, support numeric value as number object. A number object convert numeric literals to an instance of the numbered class. The number class acts as a wrapper and enable manipulation of number literals as their object. All TypeScript numbers are stored as decimal number floating point. The number data type contains both integer and floating number points. Like JavaScript, TypeScript does not distinguish between integer without decimals and float with decimals. So that is the way you can try to define a number, you can print it out, and you can get the number type of also. Okay. Now in case you are giving something like that way, 100.0, it will be considered as 100, because decimal will be skipped, because there is no point of this decimal, right? 0.00, no valuation, right? If you define something called like that, 14.0000, should be considered as a output will be considered as a 40, because after that one there is no zero validation, right? If you want to print it out, let's see the print out the value of s4. You could see it's coming as 40. So automatically it's truncating all this because there is no point of this zero na after decimal. So it is still 40, value is 40. That is the way TypeScript automatically very clever. It will understand all this part. And then if you want to get all the number, what is the maximum number or minimum number available in the TypeScript, you can get it. How can you get it? So like that is the way you can call something called number dot max value or min value. There is a thing available, number class dot. You could see max value, mean value, negative infinity, positive infinity, all this stuff you can call it. Like max value you can call it. Similarly, you can try to call the negative infinity, positive infinity, mean value, all this stuff. You can give it try. What is the maximum number available, minimum number available? All this stuff will be coming from the TypeScript, and you can get it. You could see 1.79 this e to the power 308. Means that is the maximum number available. e to the power minus 3 to 4. That is the minimum number available or supported in TypeScript. That is the you can get it. Now next one is called nan, right? Called not a number. Suppose in case you want to do some operation called console.log, see this operation, right? Called if you want to do something called called 10 divided by 2, which is a valid, right? And it will be giving you the 5 output. But think about something which is not a valid. I am trying to divide a number with some string called test. What will happen? Right? It will be not problem, na? Because you will not able to understand anything. Okay, so that is the problem will be coming. It is coming as nan, not a number. Because any numeric part is divided by string or any of multiplication. This is not a number at all. So this is that will be coming. And then if you want to divide something with 0, that will be giving you the infinity number, which is the mathematical infinity, right? Anything divided by 0, that will be giving you the infinity. You could see it is coming as infinity. This is nan, not a number, this is called infinity. So these are the different stuff you can deal with the number data type primarily. Okay, I'll cover the Boolean part, then again we'll take a pause. So Boolean is nothing but same way Java is treated, like we can try to define Boolean value. Okay, like let b1 colon Boolean, B-O-O-L-E-N, Boolean equal to true or false. Only these two value it will hold. Or I can give something called B2 called false. But definitely variable should be unique always. Okay, called false. Now I can try to print out B1 or B2. Okay, you could see true and false is coming. Now what are the other stuff I can do it for the Boolean? I can try to check the type of the operator like same way for the any number Boolean, all this stuff I can do it. Type of the B1, B2 I can check it definitely. For number variable, so it will be giving you the proper way, right? Type of b1, I can check it. Apart from that, you can do this kind of ampersand, right? All these logical operations, right? Logically and logically or, all this part also you can do it. So let's try to do something called logically or b1 ampersand b2, right? This is called logically or, and both are true only, then it will be true. This is the logically or, we can give it try, which is nothing but this or, right? So anything is true, it will be giving you true. You could see it is coming as false true. Then it is Boolean, data type is Boolean. Then the logically and is nothing but the false part, and logically or is nothing but the true, because anything is true, it will be coming as true. So this is the way this type of variable is really important, especially mostly used. I could say that Boolean, a number, and string. Other thing is very less used. Okay, very weightage is very less. I could say that first three things will be used 90%, 95% like that, and remaining four will be used hardly 5 to 10% in your real time world. I will take a pause again. Any doubt as of now? Are you able to understand everyone? Okay, fine, cool. So last a couple of data type, four data type primarily. We'll discuss undefined, null, right, Bigint, and symbol. So that will be the end for today's session. So let's see about the undefined. We already discussed, right? Whenever you are only just I like creating the variable without any value, that is called undefined. Means there is no definition, though you are typing the data type, but still, right? That's not defined, right? Otherwise, you can also make it undefined, the value also. So in TypeScript, if a variable is declared without a value, its type is implicitly undefined. Undefined indicates that the variable has been declared but has not been assigned any value. It is commonly used to represent missing functions, argument, or uninitialized object properties. Undefined also evaluate to false in the Boolean. So let's see. Any kind of variables I can declare here undefined. So these are the thing I can comment out. let's give some variable and just do it. That's all. Similarly, over here I can do it like that. That's all. Okay, this is the way I can do it and try to print out. Okay, this is treated as undefined because no value. And otherwise, if we can make it undefined, also it will be still fine. Called equal to undefined. Goods is coming. Now you can do it S2. If you save the code, try to run it. That should be fine now. Okay, undefined. Some coming as undefined. So that is the way I can make it something undefined. Also, it means that declared but no value. So how it will JavaScript will understand? So that is the way it is treated as undefined. And type of if you want to print, it will be also undefined. But null is nothing but you are specifically mentioning as a null. We are trying to create something as a null, right? So in some aspect, null and undefined is same, but other aspect, couple of things, it will not be same. So let's something define something called null, called S3, where I can do it, it will be null. Okay. Now things fine. Now, yeah, okay, let's see about this S1. Type of S1, type of S3, and value of the S3 also. You could see it's coming as null. So what is the type of S1 is undefined, and this type is coming as object because null is nothing but an object. It's null, though you are defining as a string, all this stuff it will not work. It will be treated as an object. Null means you are creating the container, but you are not defining any value. Specifically, you are mentioning as null properly. That null is all one kind of stuff. So that is the reason it is coming as object. Now, if you just trying to compare them, right, normal way, okay, called compare it S1 equal to S3. So it will be coming as true because both null and right thing is same. But if you want to, that is called loose compare, loose, right, loosely, only data. But in case you want to compare the data and type, called tight compare, tight coupling, then it will be coming as false. Okay. So null in the TypeScript represent an intentional absence of any object value. Null represent the intentional absence of any object value, right? Okay. It is often used to signify that a variable or object property does not reference any valid object or value. Okay. Now, what is the primary difference between null and the undefined? That question will be coming in your mind immediately. So here you already see this thing is coming as true because null and undefined is mostly same thing. But whenever you are trying to compare more stricter order, it will be coming as false. Why? Let's understand it here. Although null and undefined might appear similar, these two values serve different purposes. First, null or undefined usage often arises in condition checking for falsy values. In such checks, both null and undefined produces the same result under loose equality. This is called loose equality where you are trying to check that value. However, if you use triple equal or is called strict equality, you shall notice the difference. Another key difference is how type undefined behave versus type of null. The type undefined indicates a variable that has no assigned value, whereas null is an explicitly set single value used to show an empty value. This is the primary difference between the null and undefined. Because couple of scenario you need to use as make as object null. After that, later you can try to deal with this value. Okay. Now we will discuss about the Bigint data types. We already used that number, but number still in case number is very big, might not able to handle it, might throw error or something is coming. So that is the reason Bigint is coming. Just like that in the Java you already did about the char, integer, long, all this stuff, different bytes was there. Similarly here also Bigint is there. So TypeScript Bigint is an inbuilt object which represent whole number larger than 2 to the power 53 minus 1. A Bigint value, also known as Bigint primitive, is primarily created by appending n at the end to an integer literal. It allows precisely arithmetic with integer beyond the safe integer limit or regular number. So whenever you want to do integer, right, begin is created by appending n to the end of an integer literal or by calling the function global function called begin. So what is the way you can do it? So you need to just define that way, right? N at the end. So in case you are defining something called, think about that. Let, okay, num variable you are giving called number, okay, equal to, okay, give something called 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, 9, 10 like that, whatever. Okay. Now try to check the type of this number. Okay. Now let's same thing do it. You can define as a number also, but yeah, number only. But at the end you give it n. Think about the difference. Here immediately you need to change it to begin, right? And now it will work. Now you could see the difference here, right? Type is coming as number here. Okay, num1. We need to give it num1. We've changed the value, so it will be begin, right? You could see this begin coming immediately because as and when you are giving n, so it will hold more value for that safety, right? So that big is skinned is by appending at the end of an integer, literally by calling the function global thing. It allows precise arithmetic and integer beyond the safe integer limit of regular number. So that is the you can deal with that one. Okay. So any number whenever defining normal way using begin also still it will be considered as a number. But with n thing you can make it other way, and you can also use the begin class. You can try to convert that way variable. So this is the way you can have deal with the begin. Whenever big data you are dealing, number might be having problem with the letter, so you can go with the begin data type and you can go with any direct any value. To the power 53 minus 1 is very big value. Now the last data type to cover, which is inbuilt data type in TypeScript, is called symbol data type. So very rarely used. In TypeScript, a symbol is one of the primitive data type. A primitive data type is not an object, possesses no properties or method, and cannot be altered. Right? This is the main concept of the primitive data type. The symbol type is similar to other types such as number, string, or boolean primarily. But what is the basic difference? Symbol values are created using the symbol constructor. There's a constructor called symbol available. With the help of that, you need to create a symbol. Where you need to normally create it, or you can pass some argument also. Every symbol created by the symbol functions is guaranteed to be unique. Though you are giving duplicate value, but still every symbol will be uniquely treated. Okay, even it is created with the same functions. So let's see the real time how you can use it. Okay, so let's try to create some symbol. So what is the way you can do it? So we can have it let variable any kind of symbol one. Think about that symbol one. Okay, what you can do? We need to take the help from the symbol, right? Uh, thing. Okay, we can create using a symbol constructor. So what we'll be doing? Symbol. That's all. I think we need to give that constructor symbol. That's all. Now I can try to uh, print it out. Let's try to print the value here. You could see it's coming. That function is completely coming. Now, what we can other way you can do? You can some pass some argument like test to all this stuff. Let's try to create it. Another couple of things called symbol two. and here I can paste some argument called test, and here also same thing I can try to pass it called test. So mostly same. Now let's try to run it. Okay, you could see symbol test and other stuff is coming. Now what is the thing I can do it? Console.log. You want to try to check the symbol 2 and symbol 3. Symbol 2 equal to symbol 3. What will be happening here? It will be coming as false. You could see. Why? This is the loose, right? Not the tight one operation we are doing, where you are trying to value the type and other everything. But still, though it is coming as same thing, but still it will be uniquely considered as unique. That is the primary difference. Also, this is the way you can give a try. Okay, how other way we can create a symbol? Use the symbol actually. So we can try to create some symbols with the the ID is first. Now we can try to create users where you can try to call that symbol, give the value, you can try to call it also. This is the way symbol also what it will be just giving the value. So a TypeScript symbol is a unique, immutable with primitive data types, primarily used for creating private object properties or distinct constant to avoid naming. So you can try to create the basic symbols. We can try to create symbol as object property key. We can also use the unique symbols for type safety. So that is the way symbol will be really required. Okay, so symbols are created using symbol constructor functions, optionally with a description for mostly debugging purpose. Their unique natures make symbols ideal for use as non-enumerable properties key which would not be exposed during standard iterations like different loop kind of stuff. So TypeScript has a special subtype called unique symbol which provide a completely unique identity at the type level. It must be used with constant declaration or static dot read only properties. Those are the stuff later be I will try to discuss what read only properties so that you can get the idea. So this is the way these are the different seven key important built-in data types works in TypeScript. Okay, the remaining other data type which is nothing but your the user defined array tuples enum object function interface type ls you'll be understanding later, and special data type any unknown void never we'll try to discuss tomorrow. So let's recapture once more. After that I will take a pause for any kind of questions and we'll discuss it. So today's session is the first session for the Playwright with TypeScript out of 12 planned live sessions. So we have to understood what is TypeScript. So TypeScript is nothing but a superset of JavaScript. Whatever JavaScript is having, all the properties will be taken by the TypeScript along with the couple of important stuff like primarily your the OOPS concept completely handling, static typing, interfaces, module, and enhanced tooling and supporting. Okay, couple of limitations also there like of complication overhead because TypeScript will first compile the code in JavaScript, then it will execute like runtime delay, execution slowness, right? It's not suitable for the small project. Like abstract class support is not possible in TypeScript. Okay, learning curve is little bit less. These are the couple of limitations there. And difference between TypeScript and JavaScript, TypeScript support that typing part, static typing, JavaScript does not support. Execution is much faster in JavaScript compared to TypeScript. Right, class feature is more predominantly explained in the TypeScript, which JavaScript does not support. Error checking is compilation time during the TypeScript, whereas JavaScript is during runtime. Module both support, but TypeScript provides stronger enforcement of the type checking and object saved across the modules. Then a couple of important top testing framework like in the TypeScript like Playwright, Cypress, WebDriver.io, Mocha, Jasmine, Jest, and Vitest. Okay, TypeScript is really important for the automation testing world due to the readability, type safety, understandability, refactoring the confidence, auto completion and intelligence, early error detections, self documentation code, structured code, and easier collaborations with the different team members. So VS Code is nothing but the IDE integrated environment which will be used for the TypeScript. VS Code support a lot of different programming language, like all the mostly browser windows, and it supports with the Git integration easily. It is having the very good code editor or the right terminals where you can run the code easily. So you need to go to the official site, you need to download it, and we also require that npm or node.js to start our journey to the playwright with TypeScript or JavaScript world. So that you are along with the node.js, npm will be installed, which is nothing but the node package manager, and node.js is nothing but which will be giving you the runtime environment for running your JavaScript or TypeScript outside the web browsers. Okay, after that, what you can do, you can open your Eclipse, you can try to create a folder, you can open the folder, you can try to just run the command npm install hyphen g TypeScript, so automatically like installation will be done through the terminals. Then you can try to create a tsconfig.json file, which is the primary key file for handling the nurturing the TypeScript program, where you need to run the command npf tsc hyphen init hyphen init. Then you can create any file TypeScript with the name of TypeScript extension as TypeScript, any name inside this particular folder. And sometimes you can face some issue during running the commands. You can just run this command set execution policy remote sign hyphen scope current user, so automatically this kind of problem will be solved from the current PowerShells. Okay, after that you can try to write the code, then you can try to run it with the TypeScript exception npx tsc, the file name .ts. So it will create the JavaScript similar file first. Then you can try to run as a JavaScript file node base file name.js, and then you can also try to run node file name.ts as well. Apart from that, you can try to run those code using run with debugger option. So these are the three my primary options available to run any kind of TypeScript code. So comment is nothing very useful, right? Whenever you want to like give more information to user, if you want to just disable from code some execution, so that is the comment will be very important TypeScript. Single line, multi-line, and structured documentation comment available. Then variable is nothing but like where we will be storing the data or value as an identifier or name. There are three primary variables available: let, var, char, sorry, let, var, and constant. Var is the old one, is used till 2015, but nowadays let is used. But let variable we can change the value, whereas constant variable we cannot change the value. In let variable we can define the variable, we can assign the value later, but constant we need to define the value, assign the value same line. Mostly whenever we'll be using constant, whenever we do not want to change the value of a variable, we can use the constant. But for the let, we can use something wherever there is a probability of changing it. The data type is nothing. Whenever we are trying to have some this kind of variables, we need to define with the static typing, which is called where data type will be playing the pivotal role, and we can try to give that variable like late or constant, then variable name, then we can colon the data type, and we can assign the value. In Java there are three different data types available. One is called built-in data type, one is called user defined data type, one is called special type. Built-in there are seven category: string, numbered, boolean, undefined, null, Bigint, symbol. String is nothing but the like kind of alphanumeric character value, or the text value we can be enclosed with the single quote, double quote, or the backsticks. Number is nothing but any kind of integer or floating number. And then we can have the infinity none also. Boolean is nothing but the true or false value. Undefined is nothing but the denoting a variable that has been declared but not assigned a value. Null is primarily an object where you're defining the null value. And Bigint, whenever the large number is required, we can define as a Bigint with the n at the last. And symbol is a special data type, right? The primitive data type whose instances are unique and immutable. Okay. Along with that special data type available called any, unknown, void, and never, we'll be discussing tomorrow and next day. And user defined like array, tuples, enum, object, function, interface, and type is also available. So I think that are the things I tried to plan to cover today. So that's all from today's session. We'll try to catch up tomorrow.